Hi everybody! Before I get into today's video, I first of all want to take a moment to pause and express some really deep gratitude and appreciation. I've had some of you reach out to me through email. I've noticed a few comments that were left here on the channel a while back on some videos, and thank you for your patience with me to that person. Someone left me a comment here on YouTube a while back that I didn't notice their comment, which was a question. I didn't notice it until just a few days ago. So I am going to be going back and addressing that question that was asked. I so deeply appreciate you for sharing and your vulnerability. Thank you. So for those of you who've commented and those of you who have lately reached out to me in emails and asked me specific things to talk about here on my channel, I really appreciate you. And for those of you who have reached out, particularly in email, it always is so amazing to me when people email me, because the vulnerability and the transparency that people are willing to show of their life and what they're currently going through in their intimate life stories, to kind of let me know where they're at and then ask me a question of help and guidance from there. It is just such an honor for people to trust me with their story and the intimate workings of their life. I mean, people who are strangers, you know, in the human sense, strangers opening up and sharing their story. But nothing makes me feel better, really and truly. I love understanding people. I am fascinated by human nature and people and energy, emotion, psychology, all of the things that make us who we are. I find fascinating. And I find there's always so much to learn. And just when I have an epiphany around something and I want to gift it out to the world, usually through YouTube, I'm so excited about a new depth of knowledge or understanding that I may have been gifted, but it also just opens up the possibility of so much more. There's always more to learn, always more to come in. So all of that to say, thank you so much to those of you who have reached out to me privately and openly shared what's going on with you, and then asked for help and guidance around the next step of your journey. I so see you, I honor you, I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this work alongside me. And in case you haven't already figured it out, doing this work on yourself, in your inner reality, your inner workings of you, it's so much bigger than just you. And the work you're doing in here changes how you show up out here, which then creates a ripple effect of healing and change out here. So I thank you so much for those of you who are doing this. And it's so encouraging when people do reach out to see, yes, there are other people out there doing the work, because sometimes you feel so alone doing this work. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I am grateful and I appreciate and I see and I value all of you who come here, who share your energy with me, even if you don't reach out to me privately, and yet you're here and you're listening and you're absorbing my words and processing and doing the work on your own. I still honor you and appreciate your sharing of your collective energy here on this space on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. So today I want to talk about something in the realm of emotional maturity that I feel is often overlooked. Particularly people on the beginning end of emotional healing, and the idea of dismissive or minimizing of emotions. You know, I used to call this back in the day, I used to call it invalidation, like someone invalidating your feelings when they make you feel like what you feel doesn't matter. And since then, since I've really been working in the realm of emotions and emotional availability, emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, whatever you want to call it, I really have come to boil it all down to this idea that it's being actually just very dismissive. And being dismissive is when someone says something in an emotional feeling type context of a conversation or situation. Someone says something in response to feelings and emotions that feels like, and they may even just come out and say it, that feels something like, oh, that's not a big deal, or nothing is going on, or oh, you're so sensitive, or changing the subject, or that's negative, or that's a waste of time. Don't focus on that. Any of these words, or even a subliminal message of these words, is diminishing and minimizing emotions. But I want to today flip the script here. Because if you are someone on a path of really taking back your own personal empowerment around emotions, and you are really working on your emotional maturity and your inner intimacy because you desire deeper external intimacy and connection in your relationships, if you are on this path, the first more wounded lower self response to this kind of a reaction, the wounded response, is that you're going to take it personally, and it may make you shut down. It may make you withdraw. It may make you feel like something's wrong with you, or feel like you are too emotional, you are too sensitive, you are making a big deal out of nothing. Or maybe you're going to feel you are too difficult to love. Why is it so hard to love me? Or something is wrong with me and my emotions, and I need to fix this part of myself, or I need to quiet down that part of me because it's too much and it's too big. And that's obviously the disempowering, wounded feminine aspect that is coming out to play, and your mind sabotaging you and limiting you and minimizing you, dismissing you, and all of that. But as you go down the path of emotional healing, healing your heart space, the awareness around dismissive behavior or words, or someone who is emotionally immature and it shows up as emotionally dismissive or emotionally minimizing, you understand that what's actually happening in that exchange is the person who's diminishing, let's just say, the person who's diminishing the current emotional situation is trying to diminish their own reaction. And again, a lot of times this isn't even conscious. This is an unconscious person, or this is someone reacting from a subconscious, unhealed aspect of themselves. Please put that frame on it first. This is coming from an unhealed aspect of someone else. They're not consciously trying to hurt you, okay? But this is coming from someone who they are being triggered by your emotions, your feelings. They're trying to fix the scenario, but they themselves do not have the emotional tools to truly fix, and I mean that in a healing sense. They don't have the actual tools of what is actually needed in this scenario to create emotional healing. And so what they are being triggered by recognizing, someone is uncomfortable emotionally. Someone is talking to me and it's making me feel all these feelings and emotions that I don't know what to do with, and I don't like it. That, first of all, has to be the first point of awareness when dealing with an emotionally dismissive or an emotionally minimizing person. They're having an internal struggle emotionally. Whether they're conscious of it or not is irrelevant. Okay? Then the second thing to keep in mind to flip this script is to understand, think about this for a second. If you're in a situation of emotional chaos and turbulence at any level, it doesn't even have to be anything dramatic. If you're going through something emotional, okay, and you have someone there who's holding space for you in a very compassionate, understanding, and non-judgmental way, one of the key things they may say to you, or the words they use, may have this underlying message, this subliminal message of everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And they're able to create safety. Okay? So now back to the text of today, the subject of today. If you're dealing with someone who does not have the emotional skill set to be able to create safety for you and is going to be dismissing, it's because there's a part of themselves that is trying to tell themselves that everything is going to be okay. And the current level of their consciousness is only able to feel like everything is going to be okay by dismissing and rejecting or diminishing or minimizing the current emotional instability feelings. It's all about them. And they're projecting on you what is happening in them. And this doesn't even have to be about anything dramatic. I recently had someone tell me a story about something, and I couldn't believe the response that I was hearing of someone telling me the story of an exchange they had with someone else about something happened, something very simple that would be very common to happen in a lot of people's daily lives. A very simple scenario happened, and it upset them a little bit and made them nervous and make them anxious that something bad was going to happen. And the other person responded by saying, "Oh, well, that happens all the time. It's no big deal." And I was just like, okay, it's no big deal. Well, it's a big deal to you. It's a big deal to you if you're scared something bad is going to happen because something that seems to be bad happened in your life and it's triggering you, and you're going to someone who you think you can trust, who maybe you should be able to trust, like a family member. You think family will be there, and so you go to that person and they completely dismiss your feelings and tell you that it's no big deal and it happens all the time and get over it, basically. Dismissive. Because they don't know how to deal with the emotional turbulence, and they just want you to be at peace. So they actually might even think they're helping you by quieting down your anxiety. But it's not helping anything. It's putting a Band-Aid on a gaping hole that you need to go to the doctor and get fixed professionally. You have to go to the person who has the tools, the knowledge, the life experience to actually heal you. I am fired up today. This emotionally dismissiveness has to stop in our world. It is the divine feminine aspect that is going to heal the world, and the divine feminine aspect that knows how to hold space and stand still, stand present in the midst of crazy emotional chaos, and be the mountain of love that is not moved. And dismissing someone else's feelings because it's making you uncomfortable, or because you don't understand why something is a big deal to them, because maybe you haven't lived that experience, so you don't even know. To diminish and minimize and reject someone else's feelings and say it's no big deal is not going to help anyone, and is only creating separation, is only pouring salt in someone else's emotional wounds that they need help with and support and love, not shaming. Diminishing is shaming. I'm going to leave this video here for today. I really hope this message helped someone and really supported, validated someone, and maybe gave someone else some more tools to work through their own emotional stability, your own emotional maturity. Thank you again so much for being here with me on the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.